This isn't just another sports podcast. This is Uncontainable, where we talk about what nobody else does, the pain behind the passion, and the triumphs that emerge from the struggle. My name is Lou Hutchinson, and I'm a Division I basketball player at Alabama A&M University. And over 4 years ago, my whole life changed when I broke my arm. And now I want to be able to tell my story and open up the platform for others to be able to tell theirs. When I go back to that time, to that event, the diagnosis of my catastrophe was the open compound fracture of my radius and ulnar bones, which basically means I snapped my left forearm in half. Now, going back to that specific moment, I'm in practice on the national team at IMG Academy during my junior year of high school basketball, and I go steal the ball. I'm on a fast break. I go up to dunk, and all my momentum is going forward with me. I swing off the rim, put my hand down to break my fall, and the next thing I know, I'm on the ground. Arm broken, skin open, blood pouring everywhere. The crazy thing is, everybody around me was almost in a panic, crying, hurt, not, really knowing how to go about the situation, how to feel for me, but I was just angry, right? That's the first emotion I felt. I didn't feel the pain. I mean, if anything, I was in shock, but I was angry. I felt frustration. I felt so many different emotions that kind of just pent up in me, right? That later on led to sadness and even confusion and just why this happened to me, why I had to have this freak accident, but more so why basketball in that moment was taken away from me. As the days went on and I went through the surgery, afterwards I didn't talk to anybody for days. As I went through my recovery, it was hard physically, but even tougher mentally. I coming out of the surgery, I went and I couldn't even move my thumb. It wouldn't fire when I tried to move it because when my arm broke, the bones went and damaged the muscle that controlled the bending and strength of my left thumb. You know, those emotions continued to build. And at that time, I didn't all the way know how to process them, especially not on my own, not by myself. As rehab went on, right, the initial expectation was that I wouldn't be back for anywhere from 6 to 8 months. And physically, I worked hard. I worked my tail off, and I was back to 100% in 16 weeks. Back on the court in a special brace even earlier than that. But despite that, the uphill battle that I went through mentally, that I dealt with even after the full recovery of my arm, was major. And I didn't even always realize it sometimes. I didn't realize what I was feeling all the time when I would be in my room by myself. Just wondering, thinking, being sad, thinking what if, thinking why did it have to be me, thinking why did basketball have to get taken away, thinking what purpose do I have right now if I can't hoop? And through many different ways and methods, going to God, talking to family, but more so than anything, looking within myself and dissecting what I was feeling, not just at that time, but over time. Not only did I understand what I was going through, but I conquered it. At that time, I had all the support that I could ask for from my family, but I didn't feel like I could speak up. I didn't feel like it was anybody around me who was going through what I was going through or even understood what I was feeling. I didn't feel encouraged to talk. I didn't feel like even if I had the people there that wanted to listen, that they would truly understand what I was going through. And now I understand how wrong I was. And because of that, I decided to create Uncontainable. So, what is Uncontainable? Just a podcast where you talk about certain things, talk about sports and stuff. No, Uncontainable is a podcast that creates a safe, open space for athletes to share their stories about overcoming serious injuries, both physical and mental struggles. Through honest conversations, we're going to explore injury's impact not just on the body, but on the mind. I want to highlight the emotional toll and the mental battles that athletes go through, right? I want to be able to go and access all the different parts of the support system that athletes surround themselves with when going through these injuries so that as we go through this whole thing, we get every single different perspective on what it's like for even the people around the athlete when trying to support them, help them, be them there for them as they fight to get back to where they were and be better. I want to talk to the coaches and the teammates. I want to talk to the trainers, the siblings, the parents. I want to let athletes know that they're not alone in their regular mental health, but also in the mental health struggles of coming back from an injury, because it's too often that we don't talk about that. It happens much too often that somebody goes down with a torn ACL or even something more minor like a sprained ankle that changes the way that they play their game. And what they get is a get better text, speedy recovery, prayers up. And that's great until a week later you get a text from one or two people and you feel alone and you feel isolated and you feel left out to dry. Despite the fact that people care, you feel alone. You feel like you're going through this whole thing by yourself. You got to dig yourself out of a hole that you didn't even try to dig for yourself. But I'm here, and Uncontainable is here as a resource for athletes to share their story and make it clear that you're heard, that your story is encouraged to be told, and that you're not alone and you never have been. And even beyond that, I want this to be a place that anybody that goes through any type of struggle can come and listen to understand that despite what you go through, you can make it through. That despite what you go through, you are uncontainable. So please subscribe and be ready to take this journey with me to explore my story and the story of others. Let's be uncontainable.